All right, so today we're going to be talking about the gold and salt trade in West Africa. All right, so here's the thing. This might seem weird to us, but back then, Blake would trade a pound of salt for a pound of gold. Campbell would do the same thing. She'd trade a pound of gold for a pound of salt. That seems weird to us because right now, salt is super cheap. You can get it actually for less than 79 cents a pound. I've seen it for as low as like 40 cents for a pound of salt. It's cheap. Today, 1 ounce of gold is around $1,000. A pound would be about $16,000. So think about that. Today, gold is extremely expensive and salt is extremely cheap. Like, I don't even know the math. Sahil could probably figure out, like, how many times more valuable gold is. Here's the thing, though. In places like Wangara, they had lots and lots of gold. And let's face it, gold is great for, I'm sure Emmy's going to have some gold earrings and she'll look absolutely glamorous. But, like, all it does is, like, it's just fancy looking. It's not going to actually do anything you need. You don't have to write down all of it now. Salt is going to be vital. Now, in the south of Ghana, there were forests, and these forests were called Wangara. And here you could sum this all up that the gold was in Wangara. Now, Sahil, you have tons and tons and tons of gold. 40,280 times more valuable, Celine. Nice job on that math. So, Sahil, do you want people to know where your gold mines are? Sahil says no. I agree. Because if I knew where Sahil's gold mines are, I would sneak in there in the middle of the night with my little pickaxe. I would steal the gold and then laugh, laugh, laugh as I became super rich. Sahil on the Wangarans do not want people to know where their gold mines are. It was a secret. And here's the thing. They know that it's valuable. They know that people want it, but for them, it's not very useful. You can't make tools out of gold. You can't make weapons out of gold. And everyone's always like, why can't you make tools and weapons out of gold? Why don't we ever see that? In my video game, I got a gold sword and it's powerful. Well, guess what? In reality, a gold sword would be terrible. If Isha tried to swing a gold sword at Mia, who had an iron sword, which isn't very strong, Isha's gold sword would like just bend and break. Gold is a very, very soft metal. Like in the cowboy movies, like way back then, like whenever like the rough and tough cowboy, he goes up to the saloon, he's like, I'll take a whiskey, please. And then like the guy's like, it'll be 1 gold coin. And like he gives a gold coin and they always bite it because like real pure gold, you could literally sink your teeth into. Like it's that soft. And that's how they would like in like the old West, like they would check to see if the money's are, they'd bite it because if it was legitimate, you could sink your teeth into it. If it was too hard, it meant there was a bunch of other metals in it. So gold's not useful for making tools. People wanted it to make jewelry, to look fancy. So we've talked about the kingdom of Ghana. We see it here, and we know to the south is Wangara, where we have the gold. There's where one of the gold mines are in present-day Ghana. Why do you need salt, though? Why is salt going to be so valuable? Well, guess what? Salt is in your body, but when you sweat, it leaves your body. How many people have cried before? I know I've cried. I cry every time you all break my heart and are mean to me. I'm kidding. But yeah. And has anyone ever tasted their tears when they cried? Yeah. And what are they like? What are they like, Savona? They're salty. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, the tears of students are so delicious because they're salty and wonderful. Ah, man. I miss having my tear jar that I could go feast from. I mean, anyways, tears are salty. So when you cry, when you sweat, salt leaves your body. And guess what? You're in a hot climate. You're by the equator. You are gonna get sweaty. So salt is constantly leaving your body. And meaning, if you don't replenish that salt, you die. Why do you think like basketball players and football players like they drink Gatorade? It's they're in there. They say, "Oh, you got to replenish your electrolytes." Guess what your electrolytes are? Salt. That's why, like, if you're like a lazy bones, you shouldn't just go and drink Gatorade all the time and not do anything because then you get too much salt in your body. Plus, it preserves your foods. Claire Bear has not invented the refrigerator yet. Matthew has not invented the freezer. So when you go and get your Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's going to rot if you don't refrigerate it. But if you stick it in salt, it'll dry out. You brush salt off afterwards, and you can eat it. Many of you last year made chicken mummies with me. Guess what we essentially made? We made chicken jerky, essentially. You could have probably technically eaten that mummy. I don't recommend it because ew, but you probably could have technically done it and been absolutely fine. Guess what? Animals need salt too. Just like us, they sweat. They need the salt to live. That's why like you give like horses and other things like salt lick. You know, I used to take care of my friend's sheep when I was a little bit older than you all. When they would go on vacations, I would go over, take care of their sheep, and I had to give them salt every now and then because, just like humans, they needed to live. Let's face it. If anyone here has ever eaten a French fry, we know salt tastes good, right? You know, people like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A French fries. You know, a regular potato, I don't know how many of you have eaten just a plain potato. Okay, potatoes are good, but a little salt on that potato, it tastes better. Salt is one of the most important things. Some of you don't know about that yet. Chips, exactly. Some of you don't know this about me. I love to cook. Salt is the most important spice. Salting at the right time, the right amount of salt, is imperative to having a delectable dish. Delectable, fancy word for delicious. Yep, pretzels, anything. Salt makes food taste better. It makes other things taste more like themselves, even. Just don't want to use too much salt because then it just tastes like salt. These are blocks of salt. The Sahara Desert is going to have tons of salt. I love your facial expressions. I love it. Oh, man. I wish I could give you a hug. So, Sahara Desert. There are salt mines like Takaza. And literally, they're digging up giant blocks of salt. Like I told you, that they literally use those blocks of salt for their buildings. I know, it's crazy. They can't make anything there. They can't grow food. They're in the middle of the desert. They can't go and like do anything but mine salt. Can't grow food. They don't have trees. So everything they need, they have to trade for. And that's what the salt comes in. Camel Caravan. I don't know why the resolution is so low. I'm pretty sure Celine hacked my computer or something. Geez, Celine. So, how does this all work? Well, caravans would go through Takaza. They'd pick up the salt. They would get salt. They would give them everything they need. Then, when they go through Ghana, they pay a tax. We talked about this. Now, here's the thing. The Arab traders do not know how to speak Wangaran. The Wangarans do not know how to speak Arabic. Plus, remember the Wangarans like Sahil, they don't want the Arabs to know where the salt mines are, or the gold mines are, excuse me, because they would just steal the gold. So they do a silent barter. I know we're going super fast. It's okay. We're going to kind of repeat things a lot. You basically need to know right now the stuff about trading the salt for the gold. So do not stress out. Do not. So here's how it works. The Arab traders, they go to a river. And then this spot would be predetermined. There'll be a drum there. There'll be blankets and stuff. So Isha will know that she's there. And what she's going to do is on one of those blankets or, fabrics, she would spread out all of the items she wants to trade. Okay? So she might spread out some earrings. She'd spread out some salt. She might put, like, I don't know, a can opener there. You know, anything that they thought they might want. You know, they put a chainsaw. They didn't have chainsaws yet. And then she would bang a drum, and she would walk away. Now, after some time has passed, the Wangarans would come out. Because they don't want to go right away, because, you know, they don't want Isha to capture them and then torture them until they say the location of the gold mines. Campbell comes out. Campbell goes and checks out the stuff. What did Isha leave? And some of the stuff Campbell wants. She really, really wants that chainsaw. She really, really wants the salt. And she's like, oh, those earrings are pretty cute. She goes and puts gold by those things. Gold dust. Now, she might say, well, I really, really want the chainsaw, so I put a lot of gold dust there. I only kind of want the earrings, so I put a little bit of gold dust there. She beats the drum, and she leaves. She goes back into hiding. After a few minutes, Isha comes out to see how much gold was left. Here are some examples of like the drones and stuff like that. So Isha goes and says, that is definitely enough gold for the earrings. She takes the gold. Not enough gold for that chainsaw. The chainsaw is really, really nice. So she leaves the gold and the chainsaw there. She beats the drum and leaves. Campbell comes back, says, oh man, that wasn't enough gold for the chainsaw. I'm going to put some more gold down there because I really, really want that chainsaw. And beats the drum, leaves. And this goes on back and forth until either, until everyone's happy. They've traded the things they want to trade and the right amount of gold was used. Oh, don't worry, you'll get that chainsaw. Now, one of the questions I always get, because I bet some of you are thinking it right now, what's to stop Campbell from just stealing the chainsaw? Or what's to stop Isha from just stealing the gold and the stuff? Well, they're being honest. Because, Sarah, would you want to trade with people that are dishonest? Or Aya, would you trade with people who aren't being honest?
No.
Yeah, you're not going to do it. So what's going to happen is if people are dishonest, then the whole trade system breaks. And if the whole trade system breaks, guess what? The Wangarans don't get any more salt. Emmy, I'm teaching, please. If the Wangarans break it, they don't get any more salt. If the Arabs break it, they don't get any more gold. So they don't want to break this trade. So people are going to be honest because they depend on this trade. All right? So here's an example. So Campbell kind of wanted those earrings, so she leaves some gold powder to get the earrings. So what are the advantages? First off, Isha and Campbell do not need to speak the same language to complete the trade. It doesn't matter that they don't speak the same language because they never meet face to face, which is pretty incredible to do this trade without meeting face to face. Secondly, it keeps the location of the gold mine secret. Isha can't capture Campbell and torture her to go find out the location of the gold mine. Elijah doesn't go and follow Campbell back to where the gold is. So it keeps it safe and they can trade without speaking languages. And that's our notes for the day. All right? I'm going to stop the recording. If it